Hi everyone, and welcome to the BoilerBall Pregame Show. I'm Rob Blackman, live tonight from Mackey Arena, where tonight is the Big Ten opener as the 4-3 Minnesota Golden Gophers visit our undefeated and 5th-ranked Purdue Boilermakers. To my immediate left is Chris Forman. To my immediate right, my broadcast partner on the radio, the former Boilermaker Bobby Riddell. At least I think it looks to you left and right. Sometimes it gets flipped around on television, I'm not sure. But I know this much, Chris is to my left. And Chris, what a win for our team Wednesday night in Tallahassee against a team that folks will say, well, they've only won one game. They almost beat Virginia yesterday at Virginia.
Yeah, they went up to Virginia yesterday, lost by about 4 or 5, I believe. You know, all the cards that were stacked against us going into Florida State. I thought we looked tired in the first half from all the travel. We didn't get to our hotel until about 2:30 on Wednesday morning. A lot of traveling, coming back from Portland, all that kind of stuff. Thought we looked tired. Coach Painter made some great adjustments, I think, in the second half with Braden Smith and Zach Edey running the high pick and roll. Braden Smith was able to get in the lane, do a lot of things, and they just made enough plays to get a 10-point victory. I mean, it ended up not being that close. So I thought it was a great effort, you know, coming off a win, coming off an emotional weekend, getting a win down in Florida State.
Here's the adjustment I like the best, Bob. Throw it to Big Z, Zach Edey. He normally can cure a lot of ills.
Oh, it's such a luxury to have a big guy in Zach Edey to throw the ball down to. You know, teams are going to scheme against him, obviously, in certain ways. He's going to see a lot of different looks, and he's probably seen every look there is, from whether it's a double team or one-on-one, guys digging down low, trying to get the ball in his hands. He's just such a luxury because he's seen it all and he can handle it all, and he's a willing passer and can find teammates that they too try to get the ball out of his hands. But from a guard standpoint, when you have a big fella down low that you can throw the ball down to and you feel very confident you can get a bucket, it's a huge luxury for this Purdue team to have.
You saw it because you talked about it on the radio broadcast. Early in that game, Florida State's defensive philosophy was anyone but Zach Edey. They were leaving guys wide open. Now, we didn't make the shots early, but we did make them in the second half and made life a lot easier on Zach.
Yeah, it was kind of wild to me that they definitely were selling out because they were leaving 40% three-point shooters to try to be there on the weak side to deter any sort of post feed to Zach Edey. So they sold out. Obviously, they didn't, Zach not have the ball, but as it turned out, Zach was still able to get the ball enough to score 25 points, which just shows how special of a player he is.
The early Ken Palm, Player of the Year numbers. And I know we've just stepped into the month of December. But right now, Zach Edey's the best player in the country, according to the numbers. Yeah,
by a significant margin, too. I'm not sure who's second and third. I know Jalen Pickett from Penn State's up there. There's a couple other players. Oscar Tshiebwe's probably up there. But he is number one by a significant margin. And I think recently he's became kind of the front runner for actually the Naismith and Wooden Awards in the gambling lines, which we don't pay much attention to, but I've seen that out there. So he's about a 5 or 6 to 1 favorite now to win the Naismith and the Wooden. So he's obviously had a great start to the year, dominating the post. What I like about Zach, he's been really patient, waiting for the double team, seeing what's coming to him. If they don't double him, he gets into the middle of the lane with that hook shot. It's almost automatic right now.
22 points, 11 rebounds, 15 blocks right now for Zach Edey, and he's shooting 74% from the free throw line. So you really can't afford to foul a guy either. All right, so let's fast forward to the Big Ten opener tonight, Minnesota. Now, last year, not a great season. First season for Ben Johnson. Had a whole bunch of transfers. We're just trying to piece it together. They went 13-17. They come in tonight, Bob, 4-3, and they have a high-level scorer in Jamison Battle, an all-Big Ten player last year.
They sure do. And, you talk about last year's team. Well, he's the only guy coming back from last year's team for this year's squad, but he's a really good one. I mean, that guy is a 3-level scorer. He's a lefty. Those lefties sometimes are quirky and tough to guard. He can shoot the three from long distance. I mean, he's got NBA range out there. He can put the ball on the floor, get the ball to the rim. Got great positional size. He's playing the 3 spot for them this year, at least in the starting lineup. So he's got great size there at that spot. And just a terrific scorer. He'll take some tough shots, maybe some bad shots at times, but he's able to make a lot of them too. So Purdue's got to have a hand up and got to take him out of rhythm from the get-go.
Last year he averaged 17 points a game. His numbers are down a little bit this year, 11 points a game, but he missed the first 4 games of the year with a foot injury, so they're kind of slowly bringing him back. Hopefully he doesn't come back too quickly tonight against our Boilermakers. They also have another transfer they've added for North Carolina, Dawson Garcia, former Minnesota kid, McDonald's All-American, and man, does he give them some much-needed help up front.
Yeah, he sure does. He's had quite of a journey so far in college basketball. Goes to Marquette, transfers to North Carolina, and then decides to come back home to Minnesota this year. And we saw him firsthand in Connecticut last year. North Carolina with Armando Bacot in foul trouble. They went small with Dawson Garcia at the 5 and Brady Manick at the 4, and really exposed our center position with Zach Edey and Travion Williams last year with some of that pick and pop action, with Dawson Garcia's ability to stretch the floor from 3. So we'll see. It could be interesting they might go to that lineup at some point tonight with Garcia at the 5 and Jamison Battle at the 4. They don't start out that way, so that certainly works in our favor. But defensively, they could cause some issues for us if they go to that small ball lineup. Granted, they have to guard Zach Edey on the other end, so we can certainly flip it on them as well.
I'll touch on that too, Bobby. If Minnesota does do that with Dawson Garcia, I feel we're more equipped at the 5 because you can rotate in Caleb first. And they match up very well with there, and Caleb's a little bit better on the perimeter, and they can match up well there. So if they go small with Dawson Garcia at the 5, Purdue's better situation this year to stop that.
No question.
You two just going to talk amongst yourselves. I can leave, I guess. Chris, I do want to talk about the free throw shooting for Purdue. The discrepancy in free throws attempted, free throws made, and I'm pointing to the P, made by Purdue. Free throws attempted by the opponent. Purdue is dominating that statistical category.
Yeah, we've made 64 more free throws than the opponents have made, which is about 10 points a game and getting to the line. But Boilermakers have done a great job getting to the line. Obviously, a lot of it is Zach Edey. He shot 50 free throws on the year this year in 7 games. But our guard, Braden Smith's getting to the line. Fletcher Lawyer's getting to the line some. Ethan Morton, there's just a lot of pressure that Purdue puts on the defense with their ball movement and dribble drive penetration. And you get the defense out of position and they start reaching, they start fouling, and teams rack up the fouls against us.
I want to talk to Bob Riddell, who was known as a shooter back in his day here at Purdue. Here's a stat that has me not concerned but perplexed. As a team, Purdue shoots 77% from the free throw line. That's an excellent number. But from the three-point line, we're 33%. Now, we'll take Zach Edey out of the equation because obviously he doesn't shoot threes. It appears to me we should be shooting better from the three-point line just because it's a good shooting ball club. We've proven that at the free throw line.
I would agree. I mean, I think oftentimes how a team shoots free throws or how an individual shoots free throws is a pretty good tell of how good they can be as a three-point shooter.
Right.
And certainly as a team, we're shooting the ball well from the line, so you would hope that would translate better from a three-point shooting standpoint. To this part of the season, it hasn't. Last year we started out crazy hot from 3. That led us to that undefeated non-conference record. But then when those percentages came back down to earth, we weren't able to maintain some of the winning ways at times. So it's going to be interesting to see how this season unfolds. Right now, we're still winning without shooting the ball well from 3. So I think that bodes well because we have a number of good shooters who are shooting well from the foul line. If they can get on track from the three-point line, the sky could be the limit for our Boilermakers offensively.
To kind of back up what I'm saying, Ethan Morton is 13 of 14 from the free throw line. He's only missed 1 free throw all year, but he's 16% from 3. Last year, he was in the 40 percentile shooting from 3. We know he has it in him.
Right, I feel like the quality of three-point shots we're getting as a whole, Ethan in particular, for the most part, they're pretty good, clean looks. So, we've played a number of games away from home recently. Hopefully now maybe getting back to the friendly confines, guys can see some shots go in early and get into a rhythm and boost that percentage.
Also when you start off the season, we went 2 of 19 against Austin Peay. So, the percentage is lower because of that. You take that game out, we're at about 36%. And I think all of the shots we've taken have been really good shots. We're not forcing very many threes. I think those percentages will come up here.
Sold out crowd tonight at Mackey Arena. By the way, if you wanted to come to a game at Mackey this year and you'd like to purchase a ticket, tough luck. We're all sold out, right?
We're all sold out. StubHub, it's going to be your best bet going forward. So, and I know there's tickets on there. I've been looking. I look periodically, and there are tickets on there for every game this year.
One final thing here before we say so long. Just a reminder, our radio broadcast will start at 4 o'clock Eastern, top of the hour. Myself, Bobby Riddell, will get you set for the 5 o'clock tip. Special day today at Mackey Arena, Terry Dissinger Bobblehead Day here at Mackey. First 2,000 fans get a free Terry Dissinger bobblehead, and one of the all-time, and that's with a capital A, all-time greats in Purdue basketball history.
Yeah, Terry, I don't think he probably gets enough credit for what he's done for Purdue basketball and the numbers that he put up. Averaged about 30 and 13 for his career. Was the NBA Rookie of the Year in 1964. Just an outstanding player. Was on the Olympic team, won a gold medal at the Olympics. So just an incredible player. He was a double-double machine, scored over 50 points 2 or 3 times, I think.
Yeah,
so,
twice, yeah.
So, just an incredible player. I know he followed up his career he's an awesome dentist out in Oregon. Just a great person to be around, great ambassador for this program, and glad to be honoring him with the bobblehead today.
He was a 3-time All-American. Bob, can you imagine him playing some pickup ball with the other dentists in the greater Portland area? I'm assuming he dominated.
I would presume he was quite a catch to have in the dentist league. When you roll in, you got to go against Terry Dissinger. That's a problem. There's not many dentists that can match him physically, that's for sure.
He was a problem. We hope our Boilermakers can be a problem tonight for Minnesota, but no guarantees. This is the Big Ten. We saw what happened yesterday with Rutgers and Indiana. No nights off when it comes to Big Ten basketball. From Bob Riddell, for Chris Forman, I'm Rob Blackman. Thanks so much for joining us for BoilerBall Pregame, and I hope you enjoy the game. So long, everyone.